I'm Joe Reed, and this is Behind the Mic with AudioFile magazine. Alan Minskoff is with me. Yesterday we were talking food. Today?
Today's audiobook is Why I Cook, and this is Tom Colicchio, and it's read, and very well read, I might say, by Will Damron. Colicchio, we all know he is a famous chef, restaurateur, and TV personality. He also, and I think we need to give him his due, he's also become an advocate for the farm-to-table movement and other food-centric issues. And I give him real credit for that because he could have simply rested on his laurels. And he has multiple restaurants.
Yeah, and I think he actually is trying to expand a food consciousness.
He definitely is.
And how is he as a writer? I mean, he's written, I don't know how many cookbooks, but this is a memoir. So how is it?
This is a memoir, and it's a memoir of his life. This is, that has some autobiographical points that most people don't know. He's a Jersey kid, talks a lot about beginning his cooking career, beginning in kind of food truck. And of course, his rise is dramatic, and he has worked with some of the great chefs and foodies of the world. He was the original chef at Gramercy Tavern, which is, one of New York's real iconic eateries. He also founded what is now his famous flagship Craft. He's just done a lot, and he's a good storyteller. And I have to give Damron credit because he really comes across like he gets Colicchio, and Colicchio does a kind of Q&A at the end, and it is candidly not as the reading is not as good as Damron's.
Well, Damron has narrated such a range of books, nonfiction, romance, westerns, thrillers. And then, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, he narrated Pane, Pasta, Vino by, who was it, Matt Goulding?
Yes, and I reviewed that. I think we talked about it too, which is
I think we did,
really
yes.
good food book. I mean,
yes.
It really teaches you about why Italian food is so unique, that they're able to use such a limited number of ingredients so creatively. And Colicchio is in that group. I mean, Italian is his, again, it's the tradition he comes out of. And of course, he does more than that. He's very much a new American chef. And the story really ranges. You learn a lot about him. And in our sound sample, you'll hear about some of his stresses as a young person. He had kind of difficulty with school. And his family, who were of very modest means, were very, very positive about his becoming a chef. And I'm sure that's not always true. So that's a unique piece of, especially his father's,
good for
unique piece
them.
of information about him that we certainly wouldn't have known without this memoir. And there are lots of recipes with restaurants all over the country and with a big reputation and, a couple of dozen years on TV. So there are lots of recipes, and they're very well done.
Well, why don't we hear a little? Is this from his
childhood?
His childhood.
This is really a discussion of what made him him.
Okay, this is Why I Cook. It's written by Tom Colicchio, and it's read by Will Damron.
I couldn't sit still. I had never been a monk-like model of repose. What kid is? But now I felt an overwhelming internal restlessness to move, to fidget, to stand and sharpen a pencil, anything. My attention, never rapt, would flee in unexpected directions, like a spooked fish or a startled horse. It would be captured at the periphery by a squirrel on the window ledge, a friend's dropped pencil, the cool way buttons were sewn onto a sleeve. It didn't take much. I found I could make people laugh, so I leaned into that and became the class clown.
Will has such a great way of telling a story as opposed to reading a book at you.
He is a master. And I don't want to leave this out because this is what makes him so good. The life in the professional kitchen is hectic, and you get that. It has a cadence of its own, and it's almost a manic place, and it's a very structured place, as we know. And he really gives you that sense of it, of coming of age in these kitchens with these, remarkable chefs that influence Colicchio.
Okay, that is Why I Cook by Tom Colicchio, read by Will Damron, and it has a Q&A at the end with Tom Colicchio.
I mean, he actually does the Q and the A himself.
Thank you so much, Alan. I will talk to you tomorrow.
I look forward to it.
Harper Select is the sponsor of today's episode of Behind the Mic, publisher of An American Story. Written and narrated by actor and activist Wilmer Valderrama. Available everywhere you get your audiobooks. Don't forget to stop by audiofilemagazine.com, where you can find reviews for hundreds of audiobooks, so you can make an informed listening choice. I'm Jo Reed, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.